I know, you've already seen 101 tutorials on how to make a face mask, but the great thing about this one is it doesn't have those ear loops that go behind your ears. Instead, it has a band of elastic that's made out of hair ties. And what I did was take a lobster clasp, and then you can use this lobster clasp to clip in any of these links here. And so you can make it as tight or as loose as you want it. And of course, it also has all the other great features you want in a face mask. It has a nose wire made of aluminum wire. And if you wear glasses, this is really great because it'll prevent your glasses from fogging up. But in case you don't have the aluminum wire or something else you can use for the wire, that's okay. You can make the mask without it. Also, it has a filter pocket here on both sides. And the side seam is flat, so that way there's no air going in when you have it flat on your face. And I've also made the pattern so that it is rounder from the nose to the chin. And that way it has a little more air and it makes it a little more comfortable inside the mask. We are going to actually use a sewing machine for this mask, but in case you don't have a sewing machine, you can also hand sew. It just takes a little bit longer. So let's make our face mask. The supplies you're going to need to make the face mask are some fabric and the pattern printout, which you'll find it in the link below. I have 4 sizes. The size we're using today is the average adult size, and I also have a large adult size and also 2 kid sizes. One is 2 to 5 years and the other is 6 to 12 years old. You'll need 4.5 inches of aluminum wire. This is 12 gauge or 2mm aluminum wire. You'll also need a lobster clasp and a jump ring, and a scissors and a needle and thread, jewelry cutters, 2 pliers, 2 needles, 4 hair ties. These are the thin hair ties, and they are about 2 inches wide if you fold them like that. And you'll need 6 clips. Obviously, I'm not using sewing ones, just office ones, but they work just the same, and a pen. So gather your supplies and let's make a face mask. If you're using a fabric that has words and faces on it, you'll want to cut out the front pieces with just one layer of fabric to make sure you're cutting exactly what you want to cut out. So like with this one, I would cut out Harry Potter with the faces on it and then probably put it right here on that side. And you also want to cut another side facing this way, obviously on another piece of fabric because I don't have enough fabric there. With the back of them, these are the 2 back pieces. You'll just want to cut it, actually you'll fold it in half, the rest of your fabric, and then you can cut it like this. Just make sure it's facing upwards, and same thing for that. Because you don't want a disaster like this one where the cat face got a little distorted, so try to avoid that. Today I'm going to be using this fun leopard print fabric that can really be cut in any direction. So I'm just going to lay these out just whatever way is best. And then you can use your pen to trace around the pattern. And if you have like a dark fabric or the pen isn't really working, you can always use a pin, but I would be careful just to pin it like really close to the edge. So hopefully you're pinning where your hem is or your seam. So that way you're not poking holes in the fabric where you're going to be breathing through. Or if you have one of those white sewing pens I've seen somewhere, I don't know if it's chalk or a pen or something, you can use that too. I don't have one of those, that's why I'm just using a regular old pen. Take the front 2 pieces and make sure they're matched up correctly. And then we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch away from this curved line here, so about along here. And then also take your middle back pieces and also make sure they're evenly on there. And then same thing, we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch away from the curve. And then you're going to take the side back pieces and take one of them and take the back side of the fabric and fold over about 3/8 of an inch, and then sew right along the middle part here and then take the other one and same thing, the back side, fold it over and sew right along the middle here. And if you have a solid color fabric, it's kind of hard to distinguish which side is which. So when you're sewing them, just make sure that you're sewing like a mirror image. So fold this one over this way and fold this one over this way, and then you'll be good to go. Take the middle back piece, and on the opposite side that you just sewed on, take this part and fold over about 3/8 of an inch, and then sew along the middle here, and then do the same on the opposite side. Fold it over and sew along the middle. Take your front piece and open it up so that the right side is facing you, and just go like this. Then take your back middle piece and open it up, and then you're going to place this on top of here, and then you're going to line up your seams here, and then just fold one seam one direction, one the other, and then clip it right here. Do the same for the bottom part. Line up those seams there. Then with the middle back facing you, you are going to take your side back piece and make sure the back of the fabric is facing you, and you're going to set it on one side and line it up. Take your clip and clip it right here, and do the same for the bottom, and then do the other side. Make sure the edges are lined up correctly. Clip it here. So with the back side of the mask facing you, you're going to sew, starting from this corner, sew 3/8 of an inch from this side. And once you get past this point, you're going to sew 5/8 of an inch seam here. So we're going to leave some room for our nose wire right here. And then on this side, go back to 3/8 of an inch, starting from here and down. And also as you sew, you're just going to sew along here. Once you get to about here, you can take this off and take the clips off as you go. Now you're going to just trim your ends right here, and then take one of your hair ties, find where it's glued together, right here, and then cut it right there. Then you're going to tie it a little knot on each of these ends. And go as far to the end as you can. Then you're going to take this, fold it in half with your knots here, and put it right here inside of your mask, just like this. And the little knots are going to stick out right here. And just have a little space right here, kind of put them like this. Then you're going to take your pin and you're going to hold this in place. You want your you want your elastics to be held in place with this pin. So we're going to take our pin and put it to closest to the edge here as you can, so you're not poking holes in the mask where you're breathing at. And you're going to put it through this way and then go on the back side and then put it through this way. So you're just trying to hold this in place here and then go to the other one. This way, back here, and back up. And that's how it looks. And then we are just going to sew right along the edge here on the inside part of it. So if this is your mask here, sew right down this way. We're going to take the pin out, and then you're going to sew over this 2 more times. You want it to be real secure right here. So now we have 3 layers of stitches right here. Then we're just going to go along the bottom of the mask and sew 1/4 of an inch seam along here. And then once you get to the end here, you're going to stop and then do the same thing you did on this side. So we're going to take our rubber band again and cut it right here. Tie our knots. Fold it in half. And we're going to just insert it in between these 2 pieces of fabric. Then try to position them like that. And we're going to use our pin again to try and secure them in there. We take our pin out and sew over the same way twice. One more time. And cut all your ends off. Now we're going to sew in our nose wire. You're going to take this and measure out 4.5 inches right there. And then we're going to round off our ends so they're not poking out. Just round it over like this. Make a little loop. And same thing on the other side. And you just want to kind of make sure they're kind of going the same direction there. Looks like they are. And turn it upside down. And we're going to sew a pocket for our nose wire just in here. So you're going to start from here and sew down to almost the end, and then sew along this part right here. And once you get towards the end, this is what I mean by the end, you're going to leave just a little bit of space, like about 1/2 of an inch or so, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And then you're going to also sew right along here. So this little section right here is going to be open, and that's where we're going to insert our nose wire. So I sewed down here and along here and left a little spot right there. And then I'm just going to sew right here. We're going to use the opening here to insert our nose wire. And then sew right along the opening here with our needle. I'm going to go back and forth like 2 times. And I'm just going to take this thread here and just tie a little knot so it doesn't come loose. And trim that. And now we can turn it inside out. So take the opening here and just push this part out. Go on the other side. And then you want to just poke the corners out here. And on this side. And we can position our nose wire. Straighten all this out. And you can kind of feel where that rounded, like the little loop you made there, you want that to lay flat onto your nose. So that way it's not poking anything. Just kind of position it there. Then to make it adjustable, we're going to take another one of our hair ties and find that part where it connects here, and we're going to tie a knot right over it. And just try to keep your knot in the center. And we're going to loop it through on the left side. If you have the back part facing you, do it on the left side. So to loop it through, just go like this. Take this part and go underneath and pull it through. Put it underneath. And then do the same for the other one. Make a loop on that end. Then you're going to attach your jump ring and your lobster clasp on this side, and that will make it adjustable. And when you pull out jump rings, you always want to pull them out like this and close them back up the same way. You don't want to pull it straight out because then you'll mess up the jump ring. So we're going to put our lobster clasp on and then also put it on here. And close back up. I'm going to show you how to put it on. First we're going to do our nose wire. Stick it on here and then just bend the wire to fit your face. And then you're going to take your lobster clasp on one side and your stretchy part on the other. Put it back on your face. And then stretch it around your neck and figure out which loop you want to connect your lobster clasp to. So I'm going to use this loop here. So I'm going to open up my lobster clasp and then connect it to that loop there. And then this is stretchy, so you can just slip it right on over your head. And you're good. Be sure to like the video and leave a comment below if you have any questions. And make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell if you want to see more tutorial videos. So thanks for watching. Bye.